This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, 2019. This is a twice weekly training session every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern for the subscribers of the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform, or for those that are interested in learning more about the Clear Lines indicator. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can send me messages through the GoToMeeting player, or you can email me, kip@equity-alerts.com, or text me, 972-841-8886. Any way you want to reach me, you are welcome to. Easiest is through the GoToMeeting player, though, of course. So, welcome. Hope everyone's having a good day. Man, we had a phenomenal morning in our equity-alerts.com webinar today. Just crushed it. We were nailing trades left and right. It was a fantastic morning. And yeah, made me happy. So I think today I'm going to spend a little time talking about the cues and how to trade the cues using the Clear Lines and the Medved Trader platform. This is something that I've just recently started trading the last about 2 weeks now. Been trading the cues, and I've been using my charts, doing puts and calls, just trading 10 contracts at a time. And so far, I think 4 for 4 or 5 for 5. I have to look back and see how many trades I've done. 4 or 5 trades. I haven't missed on one yet. Real quick, just give you guys a very brief but quick background. I was with a company called WiseTrade for 17 years, and they went through multiple acquisitions. Their last and current, well, their last owner, which was Ally Bank / Ally Invest, made a business decision almost a year ago to close the company down. And so I decided to join forces with Jim Chanel and Lindsay Perry, the Madaket kid, that were former Wise Traders, to start equity-alerts.com. Actually, they already started it. I was going to start it with them a few years ago and had to hesitate. But joined forces with them almost a year ago, and then with my other company, Clear Trading Systems, and my partners there, which are a developer and a trader, we developed the Clear Lines, which are basically a very, very close relative of the old Wise Trade algorithm, buying, selling momentum, buying, selling pressure lines. We partnered with Medved Trader for our platform because a lot of different reasons. One of the big reasons having to do with the fact that they are a very what's the word for it? I'm trying to think of. It is a powerful and it's just a great platform. How about that? They're integrated with a lot of different brokers. They are responsive to our needs. It is a modular application that allows us to do a lot of different things. It's very robust. That's what I was thinking. It's a very robust platform. Does actually some things we never could do before. And so that's been a great relationship with them. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve for somebody new that has not used a full-blown trading application. For those that were just using the old Wise Trade, it's a little different, but once you understand it, get used to it, you'll never look back. You'll wonder why I wasn't using something like this years ago. So what you're looking at right now are two different stocks with two different time frames. You see on the top are the Qs on a 1 and 3 minute. On the bottom, you see T-Rex on a 1 and 3 minute as well. T-Rex, just one of the stocks we were watching earlier. I'm going to focus on the Qs, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something here. I'm just going to expand upon the Qs because that's what I'm going to focus on today. So I want you guys to be able to see that a little more easily because that's the topic of discussion. I decided to pick the Qs for a lot of reasons as something to trade. For me personally, because I'm multitasking throughout the day and have a lot of different things going on, it's difficult as it is for me to trade during the webinar. Like I missed my first trade this morning on the Qs just because of everything else going on. But it's just having one thing to focus on, and that's it. You know, I'm finding there's 1 to 2 or 3 really great moves a day that I'm trying to latch on to. Right now, all I'm focused on is collecting my dime. Just trading 10 contracts and just building consistency. And so, you know, at some point I'll bump that up 15 or 20 contracts, but for now I'm building that consistency. I also want to add to, you know, my services, the ability to show people how they don't have to have a big account. They can trade the Qs out of a small account. And so you don't have to have a lot of money to trade it. And you can catch a pretty good move and be able to make that 10 or 15 cents to make $100 or $150 or more, depending on how many contracts you buy. But the Qs are very liquid. They have a great trading range, especially with the NASDAQ up in the 8,000 range. The options, if you're trading the weeklies, generally have pretty good spreads between the bid and ask. They're pretty tight. There's plenty of volume and open interest, so getting in and getting out is not an issue. So Qs make a lot of sense for trading options. And I know there's a lot of traders out there that trade, you know, much bigger positions, 50, 100. I have a friend, some of y'all may have heard me mention her before. Her name is Casey. She lives in New York. When she trades the Qs, she trades 500 or 1,000 contracts at a time. And she's very successful at her trading method. And so I have this great tool. I have this great knowledge. So I'm like, all right, well, let's find something, again, that we can consistently do 1 or 2 trades a day. I'm just right now looking for making that 1 trade a day with the Qs. But there's usually 1 or 2, sometimes 3 good opportunities. If you miss one, you got to wait. And again, just looking for that consistency. That's all. but it's a great, I think, a great trade and pretty good to follow, pretty simple to follow. So what you're looking at chart wise, there's a couple things going here on my 1 and 3 minute. So on my 1 minute on the Medved platform, first of all, I'm viewing what's considered current day trading hours, extended being that it's going to capture whatever happened in the pre-market this morning and then through the trading day. So if I scroll back on the 1 minute, you'll see starting early this morning when the pre-market activity happened, we have the data for that. Okay. I also have on my 1 minute chart, I have RSI, I have parabolic stop and reverse, I have three different pivots, Fibonacci pivots, DMARC pivots, and then the daily pivot point, just called pivot point. And of course, obviously my clear lines with candlesticks behind them, and then volume. The 3 minute is a little bit different. It does have all three of the pivots, the daily pivot point, the DMARC pivot, which is based on a daily, and the Fibonacci, which is also based on a daily. I also have Bollinger Bands on the 3 minute, and of course clear lines, volume, and then I've added, but I'm not fully into it yet, but I still watch it a little bit, is the what's called the ATR trailing stop. And then off on another monitor, you don't see it, I also have a 5 minute chart. Now the 3 minute, as far as the data, it uses all extended data, or always. So it's going to have not only pre-market, but it's going to have the prior day post-market. So this is all yesterday after hours, and then it has this morning's pre-market, and then of course the regular session today. And it's, as far back as it goes, it has pre and post-market data. There's a very specific reason I do that. I do it because it shows a little bit different on sometimes on the pivot points. I get a little bit different, pivot points kind of lie into a different spot based on using current day or no data, no additional data, and always. And I like being able to see that. I like, because sometimes it goes to one and not the other. And you'll notice, like on the 1 minute. So here's my Fibonacci pivot, which is at 194.40 right here. But my Fibonacci pivot up here on the 3 minute was all the way up at 194.53 on the all session. Okay. And that's actually pretty much where it went up to, and went right to that Fibonacci pivot. Now on this chart, it went to it, but it went a little bit higher, and then it ultimately broke that Fibonacci pivot. I like to use the Bollingers, and I also have volume weighted average price as well. The Bollingers and volume weighted average price I use more for helping me find potential targets where it might be going to. And in all actuality, this actually went pretty close to the volume weighted average price. Still could get down there. It went right to the bottom of the Bollinger Band. So it started from the top of the band, came down to the center line, and then pretty much just recently touched the bottom. So those are great indicators, again, for finding potential targets. The ATR trailing stop is something that can help keep you in your trade a little bit longer. And same with the parabolic stop and reverse is a good confirmation. It's generally a good confirmation with my clear lines. When I get a clear lines cross and then the Fibonacci pivots, I'm sorry, the parabolic stop and reverse shifts from below to above, generally I know I'm on a pretty good spot. And you can see that we got a down arrow on the 1 minute right around the same time that we got a shift in the PSAR. So I bought 10 of the 194 puts, and I'm gonna pull over. This is from my live trading account with TD Ameritrade, just so you can see. So I bought to open 10 of the 140s. That was a $1,400 is what it cost to get in. And I closed it at 150, so 1,500. So I made $100 before commissions on that trade. And that's right now, again, that's all I'm really trying to do. I'm just trying to capture that 10 cents. Let me see if I can get the actual what time that was, so I can pinpoint it for you. So buy to open, okay, 24. So that buy to open occurred right here. Hold on, let me circle it for you. That occurred right in here, which was also right about here. So 1 and 3 minutes lined up. Parabolic stop and reverse had already shifted off of that first peak. And this was following a pretty healthy move up. So I was looking for a retrace off of that move. It had also come right up to that Fibonacci pivot on the 3 minute. So we hit a resistance, we shifted, we had a 1 and 3 minutes lining up. We were right at the top of the Bollingers on the 3. And when it first started, really all I was looking for was to at least come down to the center Bollinger Band, which it did. That was about where I exited. I probably could have stuck around a little bit longer, but like for me right now, I'm just trying to focus on being consistent about getting at least a dime, and I don't care if it goes further. I want to be consistent, dime, 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 dime for now. That option, by the way, which I paid $1.40 for, is currently at $1.70. So it's actually gone 30 cents from my entry point. So yeah, could I have made a lot more? I could have, but that's okay. There was something else I was going to point out. Oh, so I'm going to draw. The one thing I neglected to do that I should have done is I usually draw the Fibonacci levels of the first 15-minute time frame. So let's do that now just to see, it's a little after the fact, but I want to know if we were near a good fib level or not, to see if that would have mattered. The positive was, and it was after the fact, it did come down through the 1618, but we were not at a fib level when that that turn occurred. You would have had to gone a bit higher. Now that had I been watching these levels, that would have probably helped me, you know, at least understand that once it broke this 1618, I was pretty confident that it was going to get to the next level, which was the 14140, the institutional fib, because that was also the center Bollinger Band. And the center band became my target. But like I said, had I been watching the fibs, I would have seen that was also a confluence of a fib and a Bollinger Band. So that was a good target. And by the way, guess what? It just hit VWAP. Just hit the VWAP. Wow. That put is now $1.80. So I was definitely on the right, nailed the entry, no question about it. The other trade today that I actually missed because it happened so fast was at the open. It was literally the opening trade. Right out of the gate, there was an opportunity to buy some calls, and I missed it. I missed it. It's hard for me to trade the open anyways because of my webinar, but let me see. So, and it's a little hard to see this right now because I've got so much going on. Let me remove the fibs. That might help. But literally, well, the arrow actually didn't even come in till the second candle, but you could see the action on the 1 and 3 pretty much out of the gate that the Qs were going to bounce. And that was a move in the Qs of 50, 60 cents, which, again, if you're just trying to capture a dime, would have been a no-brainer, would have been very easy to capture that dime. And like I said, right now, I'm just looking for being consistent, capture a dime at a time. And then I'm going to work on what I'd like to consider doing at some point, once I feel a little more confidence here, is buy 20 contracts and then sell half when I make my dime, put my stop at break even on the other half, and then see how much more I can capture on the second 10. Oh, the other thing you'll notice, so just that one of the things we do also watch on the 1 minute is overbought and oversold. And you'll see up here, see this right here? This is the RSI went way overbought when it got up into this level. And then it started coming back down. And that's after it comes through that overbought territory, that was also assisted me in knowing that was a good spot, that it had just gone into overbought territory. This morning, I don't know if it was oversold at the open or not. I wasn't paying attention. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Mousy issues. Yeah, it was not oversold this morning. It didn't get down into there. This was just, I just saw it in the charts. I knew immediately. I'm like, I'm too late. I missed it. Any questions so far about this? Any questions? Yes? No? Maybe? Now, for those of you that don't trade options and you just like to trade the stock, you could do the same thing with the stock. Obviously, you could have shorted Qs around 194 or 45, but you're talking about, you know, you could have done 500 shares and got 20 cents to make your $100 basically. Was about the same move. I think the delta in that option was right near 50, so it went about moved about half as much as the stock price wise, but you would have had to have tied up in cash or margin. You would have tied up close to $100,000. So I only tied up $1,400 to make my 100. So there was a big advantage to doing that. Or if you decided to trade, obviously, more contracts, someone that has, a little more guts maybe could have traded 100 contracts and gotten a dime and made $1,000. 100 contracts would have been what, 14,000? No, that's not right. Yeah, 10 times 1,400, 14,000. If you want to do 1,000 contracts, that would have been 140,000. I don't know if there was enough volume on that contract to trade that big. The volume on that 194 4,000 contracts, and the open interest is 13,000. So yeah, I mean, maybe someone could have done a 100 without an issue, maybe 2 or 3, as much as 500. I'm missing my delta. Hold on. So the delta on that currently is 5181. So yeah, right around, basically it moves about 50% of the movement of the actual underlying stock. And that is something that is important if you're going to trade puts and calls on the Qs. Generally, you're going to want to find a delta right around 50 because you need it to be fairly fluid with the stock. Like I said, to capture that 10-cent move in the option, the stock's going to have to go at least 20, 25 cents. And you don't have to go out in time. You can just trade the current week. There's no need to go out to the next week. because this is not an overnight trade. This is strictly an intraday trade. And it's interesting, if you look down here, look where we're finding all this support. So on the 1 minute, we've got FS1, which is Fibonacci support 1, which it touched. On the 3 minute, we've got S1, which is the support 1 on the daily chart, the daily pivot. And then we also have, looks like that's Fibonacci support 1 is right here. So this is all, for right now, finding support. Plus we had VWAP, and we got the bottom of the band. So we've got right in here, this is a lot of confluence. This was a good ultimate target. So I was really just looking for this, but it gave all of that. Like I said before, at some point, I'll start pushing the contracts a little bit deeper, and I'll start grabbing my dime and then seeing if I can let it run on the other half and pick up another 10 or 20 or 30 cents for the outside chance that it makes a big reversal, which it does do some of the time. This was what I would consider the best trade of the day. Well, so today there were 3 good trades on the Qs. Okay, there were actually 3 really good trades on the Qs. The first trade was the one if you caught at the open. That was a decent trade. The second one was right here. Hold on. So you can see where it dipped down to the bottom of the band. Volume weighted average price. We had an up arrow on the 3 minute right in here. And then it began its run up. That was probably the best trade, the first best trade of the day. Let's go over to the yeah. So again, down here, you had it came down, touched Fibonacci. I'm sorry, S1. We had almost oversold. We had a shift in the parabolic stop and reverse, and we had up arrows on the 1 minute. So that was a good confirmation to get long. And again, that was the one of the 2 great trades of the day. And then, of course, this second, my first of the day, but the second best trade would have been catching the reversal off of the top. And all you really need is one. If you can just latch on to one of those, you don't need multiples. You just need one good one. You can definitely make your day trading the Qs. I know I see Benita's in here, and Benita, I know that's something you want to get involved with, is trading the Qs. I definitely, for you, think this would be a great trade. The liquidity, you can see it on my charts. You don't have to put a lot of capital into it, and it's something you can practice initially. Any questions? I haven't checked. I don't think anybody's emailed me, but maybe someone emailed me. No, nobody emailed me a question. Yeah, still that option is right at 179 by 180. So 40-cent move now in that option. Compared to now a 70-cent move in the stock, almost 80 cents. That's not bad. Now, the Qs are currently coming up to some support. So let's talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to just focus on this one chart for now. On the 3-minute, I'm going to show the full current day. So if you draw a line pretty much right across through here, you can see that's going to be a big support level. If it breaks through that, then we may hit lows. We may hit open lows way down here or close to this D mark low. I don't know if that's going to happen in the next 20 minutes. We'd have to see a really dramatic sell-off here going into the close. I wouldn't doubt if it retests somewhere in between. I'm going to guess somewhere between these two levels. It's probably going to come down to. Is there anything you guys would like to look at? Any stocks or any questions about trading the Qs? Notice what just happened? That line that I put in, we literally just came right down to it, touched it, and bounced. Literally right to that trend line that I drew. No questions. Okay. Let's look over. I'm just going to kind of review. What was our really great trade of the day? Guess we just had a lot of really good little trades. It was a pretty good day today, I gotta admit. Our our webinar was just phenomenal this morning. The equity-alerts.com broadcast. Actually, T-Rex, we we caught a little short right through here. It was a little tiny one. Missed this, and then I didn't realize it went right to the 14140. Gave a reversal arrow, and then turned around and proceeded to drop from 181.60 down to all the way down to VWAP. I mean, that was a perfect. Again, if you're just following along with my indicators that I use, that was a huge trade. Gave you a perfect target, VWAP and the Fibonacci resistance too. And that was 81.70, 78, $3 move. $3 move. On T-Rex. Chegg was one that we were following this morning as well. Chegg, finally, we caught a little move through here and then caught this move through here, but it finally has rolled over and given it up. That was a good one this morning. UA was a good one today. UA was actually a great dropper. We had a long this morning at 1983. I got out way too soon. $20.12, and it went up over 21. We had several traders in UA today. Again, just nice, clean charts, easy to follow. McDermott turned out to be a great one this morning. We were long from 593, got out at 603, went up to almost 6.5. That was fun. Terex, one of our poppers, caught a little rollover, and then now it's running into the close. It's catching a little move higher. SSNC, another one of our droppers, had a great mid-morning rally. Totally missed this one. Right around 47.5 to 50.5. $3 move up. And that's just following along with the indicators. Apple, good afternoon run up. Breakout of VWAP, that would have been a great spot to get long. Right through here. From 208.20 range all the way to almost 210.20. Nearly $2 move. Amazon all over the place. Baba all over the place. Facebook was a good runner this morning. Missed the pullback. Little chop on the goog. Again, if you're just following the charts and the indicators I use, Netflix, if you caught along down around 324, and you're looking for a target, there you go, VWAP and the DML, the DMARC low, right around 326 range. Couple dollar move up. NVIDIA gave you an up arrow, took off, bounced off a VWAP, and ran from 173.30, 40 range to almost 176. 2.5 points. And even if you got out as it chopped through here, that's still up towards 175. 1.5 points. Tesla was a good runner today. Ran up this morning, went sideways, and then afternoon run. Very clean and easy to read on my charts. Medved platform using the clear lines. Amazing that Chegg's still going down. Any questions, guys? We just got about 10 minutes left. Any questions? Tuesday. Second. It's Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Let's see, RL, one of our poppers, rolled right out of the gate, had a good mid-morning run, and then end of the day drop. PG, that was a challenging one today. It just didn't do a whole lot. Overstock, which we could not get shares to short, did phenomenal this morning. It was a great popper. Kind of got choppy most of the day, the rest of the day. Obviously, I showed y'all UA was a great dropper, good long off the bottom. MDR was a great dropper. Terex this morning missed it, but that was a phenomenal dropper. That filled in the gap very quickly. And SSNC was a good one as well. It filled in the gap. I don't really have much more to cover today, guys. I'm kind of, I don't know what else to talk about if you don't have any questions. It's important if you have questions, if anything, not to hesitate to ask. That, you know, that's why I'm here. I'm here first for you guys, and then, you know, provide any additional information I can. Like today, I focused on the Qs. All right, well, with that being said, I don't have any more questions. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. We're going to cut the session a few minutes short. Again, this was recorded. Will be posted to the equity-alerts.com YouTube page. You can get to that by going to equity and then a dash sign, alerts.com. And then at the top of the page, click the YouTube link. It'll take you to our YouTube page and you'll see our videos posted here. And if you have additional questions or need any assistance with clear lines, you're welcome to send me an email, kip@equity-alerts.com, or you can text me or call me. If you want more information about signing up, let me know. And again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have another session on Thursday. Don't know if I'll have a specific topic for discussion. Hopefully you guys have some questions for me, or I'll pick something at random. Anyway, thank you again and have a great afternoon, and I will see you guys, some of you in the morning and some of you on Thursday. Thank you. Bye-bye.